Here. Okay. It says we're live. Let's see, how do we know if there's
Hello.
anybody? Hello. My cat is trying to mess up my screen. I don't know. Uh-oh. Hold on. It went away. Okay, there I am. So is there any way to tell if there's anybody watching? Oh, it says 0 up at the top. So there's nobody watching yet. So we can do whatever we want if there's nobody watching.
Oh, they'll show up.
We'll see. Well, Elizabeth said she was gonna come, but I also, when she first mentioned it, she put the wrong time. So maybe she couldn't come at the later time.
Oh, maybe.
So we'll see. Here, I can look on Discord. Oh wait, it says there's one person. Hello, one person. Whoever you are, tell us in the chat what your name is, and then we can say hello. See, here, I'll write in the chat. Can I write? If I write in this chat, will they see it? I don't know.
The private chat, I think, it would just be us. If you wrote in the comments, then that's everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, you're showing up.
Cool. I've never done this before, so I'm a newbie. I don't know what to do about all this stuff. Well, I don't know who the one person is, but hello. So tonight we're just going to talk about what we read. And, oh, it's Breezy. Hi, Breezy.
Hello. Welcome here.
Hi.
You're our first and only guest right now. That means you're number one. Oh, there's Aaron. But it still only says one person, even though we got 2 comments. Oh, that's
Well,
that's funny. Okay, well, now it says 2. Okay, so should we just start talking, I guess? Well, here's Milo. She's wanting to be in on the fun. She didn't read any mysteries, though. Well, she can't read. So,
did you read them out loud to her?
No, but actually, right now I'm listening to As You Wish, which is the book about the making of the Princess Bride by Carrie, what's his name, Eulis or Yule,
Oh, yeah.
and the guy that played Wesley. And anyway, so I've been listening to that. So she's getting to learn more about the Princess Bride because she was interested.
Well, that's an absolute classic movie.
Yeah, I love it. I've watched it, I don't know, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, now it says we got 3. Yeah, Breezy says she likes As You Wish. Here, I could put them on the screen. Look, let's see. I'm gonna make it bigger. Yeah.
See,
There
you're
we
an
go.
expert now, Emily.
Well, I practiced a little before y'all got on because I've never used this, so I wanted to see I can change it based on what I want to do. But I like this one the best. And you can also change the color of it. Look at that. Wow.
That's cool.
That's crazy. Okay. Not that that's the point, but anyway. Okay. All right. Well, I'll start. I read 2 books, and I read one of them took me Monday to Thursday, and then the other one I read in like 24 hours. So the one that took me a long time, well, it wasn't a long time, but just most of the week, was The Psychology of Time Travel by Kate Mascarinas. And this is like a science fiction-y kind of mystery. And in this book, time travel is real. And so there's a murder, and the person trying to solve the murder is like traveling back and forth in time to see if they can figure out who done it. And then it's also like showing you the world of how the time travel works in this world. And it's all of the main characters in it are women. So there's 4 ladies that like invent time travel at the start of the book, and then the rest of the characters in the book, like the lesser part of the book, are women too. So it's very interesting. There's like only a handful of men, and even they. Oh, here's Elizabeth. Let me put Elizabeth
Hello. Hi there.
on.
Hello.
Hi. Just call me Elizalate.
Elizabeth. Well, it's okay. I mean, we just started. We were a little delayed because we thought there might be an echo, but I don't know. I never really heard the echo, so I think we're good.
Well, let me know if I start echoing or
Well,
anything.
we think it might be my iPad, so I could put my headphones on if it's me.
Sorry, I have a
Ooh, what is
noisy
that?
family. Oh, it's my noisy family. Sorry.
It's
It's
okay.
my husband's birthday, so I just made a cake and got it in the oven, and we've done all kinds of things today.
It's somebody else's birthday today. Is
Di,
it
it's Di's
Di?
birthday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Di's birthday.
Yeah, and
Oh,
my
let's
best
see.
friend Tanya from Virginia, it's her birthday, so shout out to Tanya.
Uh,
She's not on
oh,
BookTube or anything. Yeah.
you know who else's birthday it is? Hermione Granger. But
Oh,
she's a
really?
yeah, but she's
Oh,
a
that's
fictional
fun.
character. Yeah, she was born in 1980, so she's 42, no 41.
So the
Not the
character Hermione or the
yeah
actress?
the character.
Oh,
The
fun.
act
Okay.
the actress was born 2 weeks before me, Emma Watson. So
Okay.
she's my age. Not that that's mystery related, but we've been talking about earlier. We were talking about the Princess Bride, which isn't mystery related either.
You
So
kill my father, prepare to die.
yeah. All right. Well, I was talking about my book. This is
Okay.
so I read this one Monday through Thursday, and then I read my other one in 24 hours, Friday to Saturday, because it's so little. I know I already said this in the other one, but look how little it is compared to this. It's crazy. Anyway, so this is about a mystery that takes place in a world where time travel exists, and so the person that's trying to solve the mystery is going back and forth trying to solve it, and it's all about this world and the time travel elements in the world and how that affects the world. And it was okay. The thing that I like, okay, so time travel as a concept doesn't really make sense to me because if you go back in the past, then it should affect everything. So it should change how you are as a person. But so you can't be the same person as when you went. But then I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me because it's like
I
what?
struggle with time travel too. I can't get into books with time travel because of that. I'm thinking you're gonna change the future if you go back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And even so, like speaking of Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban. There's that part of this is a spoiler, so sorry, but it came out like 15 years ago. But that part at the end when they time travel, it's like it never makes sense to me because it's like they go back to save that person. I won't say who in case you haven't read it, and they save the person, and they come back, but it's like everything's still the same except for the fact that they saved the person, and it's like that doesn't make sense. And also, it seems like there should be two of you, like the person that went back, and then the person that's still there. But anyway, all I have to say is, I found this book very confusing, and also there's a lot of different people in it. So all of the main characters are women, which is really cool. Like there's a few men, but they're not like important really. It's all women. But there's too many women. There's like seven main people that you're following. And it's like and then because they're all time traveling, there's like multiple versions of each person. So it's way
Hmm.
confusing. So I thought it was okay, but it was kind of weird. I don't know if I recommend it because it's like, but it is got a very pretty cover, so I recommend the cover. But I don't. But it's like I found it very frustrating because it's like you're constantly going back and forth for no.
Mm.
Well, I mean, because of the time travel thing, but not. Well, anyway. All right, and then the next one I read was elderly. An elderly lady is up to no good, and this one. So the whole concept of this one is that it's short stories about an 88-year-old lady named Maud who has killed multiple people, and each story is telling you how she murdered somebody. So it's not a who done it in terms of like you're trying to figure out who done it. It's you're trying to see if the police are gonna figure it out because you know that she killed it. But so that's what's the mystery in this one is whether or not the police are gonna figure it out. But it was good and it was really short, and I read it in one day because it's so late. So
Is
that's
that
what
one
I
set
read.
in Sweden, Emily?
Yes, it's set in Gothenburg.
Okay, because I thought I recognized that author's name. I read a book. She's got a series about a detective in Sweden, and I forget what her name is. It's a female detective,
Oh, it says it in
Helen
here.
D.
Hold on, it says it. Irene Huss.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I read one book from that series.
Oh well, Breezy says she likes
I
it.
love the cover with the needlepoint.
You know
That's
what?
cute.
Look, they're both needlepoint. I just
I
noticed that.
thought so. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was your theme.
I really just noticed that right now. So that's really cool. Breezy says she thinks it sounds interesting. Well, if you read it, Breezy, let me know because I actually would love to hear somebody to chat with somebody about it because it was kind of confusing, and it might have worked better to talk to someone about it. But and I heard about it from Emma from Drinking by Myself, and she really liked it, so that's why I picked it up. But yeah, that's what I read. And see, this one's cute because it's like a needlepoint, like an old lady kind of thing, and it's got the cross and the little beads. So you know there's gonna be something crazy going on. So yeah, that's what I read this week. What about one of y'all? What did y'all read?
Well, I read my caper book. This is The Vintage Caper by Peter Mayle. This one was interesting. I don't read a lot of caper or heist books, which is why I chose this one. But I do know kind of what caper and heist books or movies, even kind of what they're supposed to be like. So this one was interesting because it didn't kind of really follow the same plot that what you were expecting. So there is a heist at the very beginning. There's this guy who is an entertainment lawyer in Hollywood, and he has this massive wine collection that he's really proud of. He goes away for a week, and when he comes home, someone has stolen $3 million worth of his wine collection. They stole like 500 bottles of kind of his best wine. So there is this heist at the very beginning, but you're not following the crew. Usually in a heist book or movie, you follow the crew that does the heist, right? But in this
Mm-hmm.
case, you don't. You kind of see it happen. So they pull up to the house, to the gate to his house. They're in an ambulance and they say that there's been a call and the ambulance needs to go to the house. And so you know that that's how they get the wine away, but you're not following the crew. Who you're actually following is this other guy called Sam Levitt, who is hired by the insurance company to try and find the wine. So you're following this insurance investigator. He's an interesting guy because he used to be a corporate lawyer. He pulled some heists himself back in the day before he decided to go, back to the right side of the law. So he gets hired to try and find this wine. And so he ends up getting a clue and heading over to France. And so most of the book is set in France, in Paris, and then Marseille and Bordeaux. And so that part was really fun to get a little bit of a tour there in France. There was a lot of descriptions of food and wine. So if that's your thing when you're reading a mystery, you may love this book because there's all of this like big description of the food that they're eating and the wine that they're drinking and what it tastes like and all that stuff. So I'm reading it and I'm thinking it's kind of a heist story, but not really, because you're not with the crew that's pulling the heist. You're with the investigator who's trying to find the wine. But by the end, there's this little twist at the end that does make it a true heist story, and I'm not gonna share it in case you want to read it. But it was really fun. It was a really fun, quick read, really entertaining, fun characters, fun to figure out kind of how it's going to get resolved. So yeah, I did really enjoy this one, The Vintage Caper. So if you like a good heist story, you might want to give this one a whirl. It's a heist story, but a little bit, kind of a little bit different, its own twist on a heist, let's say. And that's my husband there, Aaron, who's saying he loves a good heist.
He also left another comment. He left another comment too.
Oh, and he loves food. He loves food and wine. Yes, he does. I also then read The Maltese Falcon. So this is in my book of 10 Great Mysteries, edited by Howard Haycraft. So The Maltese Falcon is a hard-boiled mystery, and this is an absolute classic of the genre. I mean, I think it could potentially even be the first hard-boiled one. This one was written in 1929. And I have to say, I knew this ahead of time, but I know it even more now. Hard-boiled is not for me. It is not a subgenre that I enjoy. I had to talk it through. So you have a private detective called Sam Spade, and he works in San Francisco. And a woman comes into his office with this story of her sister, and they were in New York, and some man met her sister and convinced her to run off with him. And somehow this girl knows that they're in San Francisco, and she needs Sam Spade to find her sister. So Sam Spade, who you get the impression that he knows she's lying, but this is part of the reason why I didn't like this book so much. I spent so much of it confused because they don't really say very much. Like, well, first of all, everybody lies all the time, so you never know what's going on. But then also, like, they don't actually fully say anything, so you kind of get impressions of what Sam's thinking, but you never really know what's going on. So anyway, he sends his partner out to follow this guy that she says has her sister, and then he's at home in bed, and the phone rings in the middle of the night, and it's the police telling him he has to come and see, and it turns out that his partner has been shot. And so now he's got to figure out who killed his partner. And then it just gets way more confusing from there. So there's a lot of people, you aren't sure who they are. You can't even trust someone's name. If they give you their name, you don't even know if that's true. But I think what I didn't like so much was the moral ambiguity. And that was true of basically every character in the book. Every character kind of has their own sense of right and wrong, and so there's just so much moral ambiguity, and I didn't like that at all. I wasn't such a fan of the anti-hero, because I think that's pretty classic in hard-boiled as well. So Sam Spade is our main character, and for how I read mysteries, the main character is the person that you're following along with, so you kind of have to like the main character. I've always thought that anyway. But Sam Spade's not really a likable character. It turns out that he was having an affair with his partner's wife. He lies all the time. He was just, I didn't really like him very much. And then there was also there was just the language that everybody uses. I didn't understand half of what they were saying. So like there was swearing, but that's not what I mean by language. Like the words that they use when they're talking, I had no idea what they were talking about. So here's an example from a conversation. I don't know how come he left that shelter, but they got him once in New York for knocking over a row of Stuss games. His twist turned him up, and he was in a year before Fallon got him sprung. A couple of years later, he did a short hitch in Juliet for pistol whipping another twist that had given him the needle, but after that, he took up with Dixie Murnaghan and didn't have any trouble getting out whenever he happened to get in. I was like, what? I don't understand half of that conversation. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, what is a twist? I got that he was going to different like jails. He was in different prisons, but because like they said he got out, but then he got in or whatever. He went back in, but somewhere else.
Oh,
but I don't know what the twist is.
I don't know what a twist is either. It actually made me think of this quote from Seinfeld, because that was like, there were so many conversations like that where I just didn't understand. And so there's this great quote from Seinfeld. Kramer comes into Jerry's apartment and he says, "Jerry, George got arrested." And Jerry says, "What?" And Kramer says, "He went down at the Beekman. He tried to land, but they cheesed him." And Jerry says, "Oh, now I understand." So it's like that. I'm like, I don't know what these words mean.
That's hilarious. I was just thinking about Seinfeld the other day. I missed that show. That was so fun.
Yeah. So the Maltese Falcon was not for me. Although I have to say, I am glad that I read it, because it is a classic in the mystery genre. It is, and a lot of people like Hard Boiled, and more power to them, but it's not for me. So Breezy-Ann, you read it years ago, but you haven't read any since. So maybe it's not for you either.
I never even wanted to try it. I know the movie's really famous, but I've never had any interest in reading the movie either. Because reading the movie, watching the movie, because it just sounds like and I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah. Alicia, do you read Hard Boiled?
No.
No.
Well, then it was a good candidate for Subgenre September, because we were trying to do ones we don't normally read. I feel like mine, I didn't really mean it that well, but I chose mysteries that were like in a genre that I didn't really typically pick up, like science fiction mysteries and short story mysteries. But even like Maud, that elderly lady, that's not really a mystery, because like like even on the back it tells you that she did it. So it's like, I don't know. It's not really a mystery. But anyway. So, all right. Did you only read the two? Or did you read?
Yeah, just the two.
Yeah. Okay. How about Alicia or Elizabeth?
I'll go.
All right.
The book I read I did it on Kindle, so I'm not sure if it'll show up well or not. But it's called Monday's Not Coming, and it's by Tiffany D. Jackson. And it's a YA book, and it's about a young girl who's a middle schooler who goes missing. And the only person that seems to be interested in the fact that she's missing is her best friend. And so the best friend, they're only in the 8th grade, so she's trying to get school administrators, her parents. She even goes to the police trying to get someone to listen to the fact that her friend is not coming back to school, and she wants to know what's going on. And so by the end, you find out what happens to Monday. That's the girl that's missing. Her name is Monday, so that's why it's called Monday's Not Coming. And I don't read YA. So for me, stepping out into reading a mystery that is a YA, so in that playing field was so different for me, because I was like, how can an author write a mystery for some, like that age. And
Yeah.
she does it brilliantly. And I was like, oh, I was amazed. And so she kept dropping little nuggets, and you could kind of see maybe where it was going to go, but I still wasn't expecting what happened. So if anybody wants to try, a YA book, it was 400 pages, but it went by very fast. I read that Sunday through Wednesday, Thursday morning. And then I switched to another subgenre that I'm not used to, and that's police procedurals.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had this advanced copy of this book, and it's called Blue Religion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's by Alvarine Ball. And it is about a Chicago detective that is murdered. And it's about the people who are trying to solve the murder. I didn't get it finished, but that's what it was about. And I found this police procedural is different for me because I love true crime. So like
Mm-hmm.
during March Madness, I'll read a true crime book. I love Ann Rule. I love, people that write true crime. But I struggle with this police procedural because it's something about knowing it's fiction. I think that's playing with my mind that I want to know something that's true. Something that's really happened. And so, with all the descriptions of what the police are doing, I'm like, well, if this was a true crime, they just say the evidence was such and such and such and such, and it's kind of throwing me off a little bit. But that was the purpose of the subgenre September was to try. I tried the YA, and now I'm trying the police procedural.
I haven't read like any YA mysteries. I don't think I've read some middle grade mysteries. I read The Murder Most Unladylike, the first book in that, and that's the middle grade. But yeah, when you posted your TBR and said you were going to read a YA, I was like, I should have read a YA too, because I don't think I've ever read a YA mystery, or at least not since I was the target audience of the YA genre.
Right, but I was thinking like Nancy Drew that's like more middle grade, isn't it? Like
Nancy Drew's
elementary, and not necessarily the YA.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about it. I have read one YA, which is Jacoby by William Ritter, and that's more supernatural mysteries too. It's kind of like a well, anyway, the point is, after I saw your video, I realized I have read like one, but one's not very many. So
No. I haven't read any YA at all. Well, okay, that's not entirely true. Is Harry Potter considered YA?
I don't think so. I think it's middle grade.
Oh, okay.
I think it crosses over. Kind of like me. I think of Nancy Drew as kind of a crossover because she's like 17 or 18. Okay. So if you go by the age of the protagonist, I don't want to go around. Sorry, I have my cat. I have a loud cat who wanted to be on camera. There. This is Harry. Harry.
Yeah, so I haven't read any YA, but I kept getting recommended to read this book called Pride and Premeditation, which is a YA mystery remake or retelling of Pride and Prejudice, which is interesting because I love Jane Austen, but I wasn't going to read it at first because I was like, well, I have so much I want to read, maybe I don't want to spend my time on a YA. But then I was told that that they didn't think that it should have been marketed as YA, that it could easily just be a regular mystery. I was recommended, they said they think it's a mistake that it was marketed YA, so I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. So I actually have it out from the library. I haven't read it yet. But the thing is, and I think this is probably why it's marketed as YA, is Elizabeth Bennet in the book, they've downgraded her age. I think she's younger than she is in Pride and Prejudice. In Pride and Prejudice, I think she's 20. But in this book, I think she's 16 or 17. And so if that's what they did, maybe that's why they're marketing it as YA. Because it's put out by Harper Teen. It says it right on the back.
Well, yeah, that's just like Elizabeth was saying. It's based on the main character's age, even if that's not really. Well, like what about like Flavia? Flavia is 9 years old, And those
Well,
books
I
No,
would
in the first book she's 11, right?
11,
Isn't she
yeah.
11?
But I
she's
think those are
not an
considered
adult.
adult.
Yeah.
They're even
Yeah.
though that's like one exception where those are not considered middle grade books.
Well, yeah, that's my
And
point. They don't go by the character's
yeah,
age. They
it just
go
depends
by
on how the
Right.
publisher
yeah.
wants to gear it, I guess.
But I also
Right.
think it might because, like maybe it's because I've only read the first Lavia, but when the first one's kind of gritty in the sense that
Hmm.
the murderer like leaves her for dead in that shed, and it's like very hardcore because he doesn't kill her outright. He just leaves her to die, which is like
Yeah.
that's almost worse than killing you right out. Because at least when
I think they could still fall under the category of a cozy mystery. They're just more unique because it's got such a young protagonist. Have you
Mhm.
guys, Janelle, have you read any Flavia de Luce?
Just that first
The
one.
first
I,
one?
I do want to continue in the series. That one is an interesting series because I agree that they do feel cozy, but they're also historical because they're set in the 50s.
50s, yeah.
And they also have the main protagonist is 11 years old. And
Right.
so, yeah, they are different.
Yeah, I've read 4 of them, and it's still pretty much the same feel, throughout the 4 that I've read. So
Mm.
yeah, I consider them under the umbrella of cozy, but yeah, there's definitely some differences to your typical cozy. They don't follow the same formula, really.
Cheryl
Oh,
has
hey
said
Cheryl,
she
and hi
read
to everybody else.
Cornelius and Agatha Christie Book Club by C.A. Larmer. Hello,
Awesome.
Cheryl.
Hey
Hello,
Cheryl.
Cheryl. I've heard that one from Naomi from Naomi's Bookshelf. She really enjoyed that Agatha Christie book club. What did you think of it, Cheryl?
Yes, let us know. We'll, we'll put it on the screen. I feel like I have so much power because I can like do whatever I want. See, look, it went away. Now it's back. Now it's gone.
You
I was
do.
showing.
That's the perks of being the host. And thanks for
I was.
hosting, by the way.
I was
Should I
showing.
go ahead and start with what I read?
Yeah, look how.
Oh,
I was.
you're changing. Oh, I didn't even know you could do that. You could
I
change
was,
colors?
You're getting power hungry, Emily.
Wow.
I was showing Janelle earlier because I was so impressed by it. Look at that.
I never knew you could do that. Oh my goodness.
Look,
There's
I
a
made
lot of
it.
colors.
It's the whole color. I don't know what the term is, but
The whole color
all
wheel,
different colors. Yeah.
color
Okay.
spectrum or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Anyway,
funny.
yeah. Okay, wait. We have a
I
comment.
can't figure out where my camera should be. I'm sorry. I'm keep moving it back and forth. So I read 2. I've 2 that were on my TBR. I was hoping to get to 3, but I didn't get it done. Let's see. This is, I think, book 5 in the Amelia Peabody Mysteries. No, book 5, The Deeds of the Disturber, and then book 6, The Last Camel died at noon. So here's what I've discovered about Amelia Peabody. I love the characters and their relationships and everything about it. I like the setting. I enjoy learning about all of that. I could care less about the mystery, and I can't even follow the mystery, really. But I'm totally invested in just what is Ramsey's going to do next. So that's where I am with that. And they're a little bit longer than some of the other shorter mysteries that I read. So I have 3 of them checked out. The next one, the snake, the crocodile, and the dog, I've already got it checked out on Hoopla, but I've got 3 of the last 3 Cat in the Stacks mysteries checked out. So this morning, or this afternoon, I guess after church, I went ahead and started this one because these are shorter, and I don't want like to lose 3 of them and have to renew them. So I've taken a little break from Amelia Peabody, and I'm going to listen to these 3 next, and then if I have to renew one, it'll just be this one. I am still going to listen to this month, and probably the next one, which is the hippopotamus pool. So I'm trying to get to book 14 by November because that's the one we're doing for my local book club. So yeah, if you've never read Amelia Peabody, it's historical, and I don't read a lot of historical mysteries, and that was why I chose. Well, I chose that because I need to read up to 14 by November. But I figured that could be my subgenre since I don't read a lot of historical. But the historical aspect I really enjoy because I think if this was set in modern time, it wouldn't have nearly um, the appeal, because part of it is part of the appeal, I think, is because Amelia is so ahead of her time in, feminism and everything, and in her mode of dress and what she can accomplish, and how she's practically a doctor without being a doctor. But she accomplishes so much because she's so determined that she's going to do it and buck the norms. And that's what a modern day woman is anyway. So if it was in a modern setting, okay, that's like any other strong female character. But because it's set when it is, it makes it more unique, I think. And the whole thing with Ramses, their son, I mean, I read a review by one of my Goodreads friends the other day who were like, "Oh, I just can't stand him," blah, 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 and I'm like, "That's so sad because I just think he's hilarious." And I mean, in real life, I would probably be like, "That kid," but as a book character, he's just funny and awesome, So fictionally, he, I mean, in real life, yeah, he he would be completely annoying, but as a book character, he's great.
There's a
So,
lot of characters like that where if you met them in real life,
yeah,
you'd think they were annoying, but because they're
right.
fake, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's
The
funny.
one annoying thing in this last one that kept kind of grating on my nerves, let's see, the one that I just finished was, which one? I get them mixed up. I guess The Last Camel Died at Noon. So, um, Emerson, who's the husband, his nickname is the father of curses. Well, he kept every time. Oh, sorry, we got a cat and dog skirmish over here. Every time he would like make an exclamation, of consternation, he would say, "Good Gad," and so of course that's instead of saying "Good God," which I appreciate, but at the same time, he doesn't believe in God anyway, so it's like, it was just too much. He just every single time I thought, can you not think of something different to say? It's like every time we turn around, "Good God," and I'm like, again.
Yeah.
So that was kind of annoying. I think that's the mark of a good writer, is that you don't notice if you notice that a writer is repeating something over and over, then that's not a good thing. My
Yeah.
friend Jack Castle, I just got through copy editing a book for him, and there was a couple places where he used a big word a couple times, and I was like, and when I in my notes, I said, you had just used this word back here, so I think it's too soon for you to use it again. He goes, "You are exactly right. If you noticed it, then that means it's too much." So,
Yeah.
um,
All right.
anyway,
Cheryl has said a few things. So first of all, she said she only gave Agatha Christie Book Club 3 stars, which to me 3 stars is a good rating.
oh my gosh.
I know
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't consider 3 stars to be a good rating. And then she also was telling Elizabeth that she's listening to the next Peabody book. And she also says she found the mystery confusing in the first one. Yeah, I listened to the first one on audio, and I remember I was like more invested in the romance between her and Emerson than actually the mystery part. I was like, whatever. But I
I
was,
know, and they are so amorous, but yet there's no descriptive things at all. But yet she'll just like refer back to things, and it's just funny how it's worded, very Victorian. So
yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. So, do we want to talk about March Mystery Madness? I guess it's too far away, but we're gonna have it
Woohoo!
again, I assume, in March. Oh, we got a new person. Hello.
Hey, Mandy, how you
Welcome.
doing?
Hello.
That is Mandy. She
Hi,
is my
Mandy.
buddy reader. We've been reading a romance series together for several years now. We just pick up two or three, like, you know, two or three a year, or one or two a year. I don't know. So we just read our second one for this year not too long ago. How you doing, Mandy?
Did you read
So
anything?
I wanted to say one other thing because Cheryl had mentioned that the mystery was confusing, and yeah, I think that's my problem with it too. Um, because I'm focused in on the relationship parts of the story, and then all of a sudden she'll say something about the mystery, and I'm like, wait a minute, who died? Because I wasn't paying
Yeah.
attention to that
Yeah.
part, and the mystery parts I think are kind of confusing. So I
But
agree. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that.
it's it's so atmospheric, though. Like
Yeah,
that's what's the thing that drives it along is the
yeah.
setting. Like you said, if it was set in modern times, nobody would care.
Mm.
Although when I read it, I kept thinking about the Mummy. Has anybody seen the Mummy? That movie?
The
Uh,
movie?
Brenda,
The,
was it Brenda Fraser?
yeah,
I think I saw it, but I don't remember it much about it.
I love that movie. Well, see, the main character is a librarian, and librarians love that movie because she's a librarian. But anyway, yeah. But let's see.
So a funny thing. I picked this up today. I said this is like book 12 in Cat in the Stacks, and I think at the last. It's been a couple years since I read the book right before this, but he had just gotten a new kitten. His main cat Diesel is a Maine Coon. Well, he got a new kitten, and I totally forgot he named him Ramses. And so it's
Oh.
like I put down one Ramses and picked up another, and I
Uh,
don't know because the main character is a librarian. He might have named him after the book character Ramses and not the Egyptian uh, pharaoh.
Right. Right.
It's very possible that that is the namesake of the cat.
I
So
haven't
yeah,
read.
we could talk about March Mystery Madness. To let people know if they didn't hear, I think we mentioned this in our kickoff show that we kind of already tossed around the idea of for 2022 to do the theme of doubles or anything that comes in pairs or twos, twins, whatever. So we're gonna kind of come up with some prompts and things that sorry, the dog, that sort of goes along with that, like maybe so sorry, maybe a word in your book title has a double letter in it, like middle, has two D's, that kind of thing. Something like that. I got to mute and let y'all talk because the dog is going to keep barking.
There's
I think there could be all kinds of prompts we could come up with, or even if we don't do official prompts, but just gives our ideas of where you could go with it. There's lots of things you could do with that, with doubles, with, yeah, like you could do a two-word title. Your book could be a two-word title, or
That's too
this one would be
awkward.
harder, but like the same word twice in the title.
That's too
Yeah, that's a
awkward.
great idea. I think that that's doable for sure.
Well, the one that I'm thinking of right away, and I haven't even read this book, but I'm sure it was talked about for March Mystery Madness, was Bluebird, Bluebird, right?
Oh yeah,
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 yeah.
I read that
yeah.
several years
Well,
ago.
we one of the hosts a couple years ago did a read along of it.
Well, was
So
it
Okay.
Alicia?
um
Because
oh
Alicia
gosh,
loves that
what was
book.
her name?
Was it
Lady.
Freeform Lady? Freeform
Freeform
Lady.
Lady. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I asked her if she could host this year and she couldn't. I'm trying to remember, but I'll definitely check in with her next year and see if she's able to come back and host. So Cheryl says she just found Cat in the Stacks ebooks at Library Overdrive. Awesome, first in the series. once before and enjoy it and forgot about the series. I know I binged that series when Emily was in the hospital a couple years ago, and really enjoyed it. And I caught up with it, but now 3 more have come out, so I'm trying to binge the last 3 now to catch up again. It's a good series.
Oh, Cheryl,
Oh,
Oh
Cheryl.
no!
Oh,
$200.
Oh,
that's
Wow.
terrible, Cheryl. Oh, no. Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
think I would cry
sad,
too if I had to
sad
give away
times. And I would have a lot more than
200.
200 to give away. 200 is a small dent in what I have. 200 is just an average unhaul.
you have a lot of books,
I
Elizabeth.
do.
A
Probably a couple
lot.
thousand.
Yeah. I have, like, now I can't even buy anymore because I don't have any room at my house. So I have to give away one to put one on. And, like, my
Hmm.
parents have a bookshelf of mine at home, but there's no room on it anymore. So she said she gave them away to a good home.
Oh, that's good.
Good. Good. All right. Well, I was shooting for to have an hour or less. So it's been 45 minutes. So does anybody else have anything they want to talk about?
I was just curious, how did everyone find this doing this week of Subgenre September? How was it?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
It was
I
good.
liked it.
I liked doing a week. It was manageable, and because especially when you've got other things going on as well, then it's pretty manageable to read 1 or 2 books, along with everything else that you're doing. But yeah, and I enjoyed it. I liked the theme. I liked the idea of doing a subgenre that you don't normally read. So yeah, it was fun.
I
Yeah,
liked
I
it
know we
too.
kind of
Yeah.
waited till the last minute to get all the details finalized because it is such a busy time of year, I think. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I think it was good to do it for just a week with everything else going on. It was more manageable, that because our big event, is March, so this was just a little something to kind of keep, you know, keep mysteries in the forefront of our minds, and it was good. Oh, I'm interested to know what everyone else thought. So, you guys watching? Did you read
Yes.
any mysteries this week? Did you participate? And did you like doing a mystery readathon at the halfway point? I liked what Troy said in because Troy Towell did do an announcement video, and he called it a bridge between
Mm,
March and March, and I like that analogy to bridge the year
yeah.
together. I like that.
Yeah. I think September is such a busy time with booktube too, because there's like subgenre September, not ours, but like series September, and there's the fall into reading, and there's now there's the magical readathon that a lot of people are doing, and there's a bunch of different ones going on in
We could
September.
do like next year. We could always do the end of August. I mean, anywhere in this kind of, you know, in this time frame. It wouldn't have to be September. It could be around the end of August if you guys would rather. So we'll kind of take a poll among people on Discord and stuff and see if anyone has any thoughts and um, you know,
I
suggestions or whatever.
I like having it only as a week because I feel like when you do a month long one, there's so many prompts, and like I don't read that many books in a month, and so to have, only like 2 books that I need to read
Mm,
instead of having like all of my books. Not that like in March, I love picking out all of my mysteries, so like, but it's just like in general, when there's a
yeah.
lot of prompts, it feels like you you don't have much flexibility in your
Yeah.
reading for the month.
And I would also be curious to know if people would have rather had more prompts, whereas like for we didn't really have any prompts this time. We just kind of issued that one challenge, and which I don't know. I think for a week long readathon, just one challenge is plenty. But if people would rather have more prompts and more things to as a jumping off place, we could certainly do that.
I like only having one or two because I feel like it's less stressful.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but some people really like having a bunch of different choices.
right.
So it just depends on your readathon personality
Yeah.
and what works
Yeah.
for people. But
Yeah,
man,
because if you make the prompts, I'm gonna try to have to fulfill them, and so by having less to start with, then it is less pressure, like she said.
yeah. I always thought I was a big reader until I joined BookTube, and now it's like I'm not a big reader. I'm like an
You
average
are.
reader.
You are.
Well, what's interesting is like in my real life, like even at work, like I'm a librarian, so I'm surrounded by people that like to read, and I'm considered a big reader at work because a lot of
Really?
people are busy and they don't read as much. So it's just more interesting to see how it compares to BookTube in your real life. Hold on. Mandy says she was concentrating on other things.
Yeah, so her and I were just finishing up our buddy read. She had to take a couple of days off of it, and so she finished it a few days after I did. And I wanted to go ahead and get it done by the end of August. So, well, thanks anyway, Mandy. Thanks for stopping by. Um,
And then
yeah,
Breezy says she likes the one challenge.
good, good.
And Cheryl
Yeah,
said the same thing. Yeah. So, so we got
like a
the other.
job.
Yeah. Well,
More relaxed.
it does feel like sometimes if there's too much pressure to do stuff, it's like, and then also, but it also depends on the time period too. Well, like for example, they just did the 1,000 Doors readathon, which they did a mini version where they wanted you to read 3 books in 3 days, and it's like 3 books in 3 days is a lot.
Yeah.
Even if even on a weekend, if you got other stuff going on, unless you read like graphic novels or whatever, which some people do. So it just depends on your your readathon personality and
Hmm.
how structured your reading is and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's something to be said for feeling like you have to versus whether you just do it organically. Like, and that's why some people don't like to do a TBR because then they do the opposite. And like, I don't have a problem reading 30 books in 30 days, but as soon as you tell me you have to read 30 books in 30 days, then all of a sudden it feels like pressure.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm the same. I don't do TBRs for the same reason because the minute I have a list of books to read, I want to read something that's not on that list.
And see, and I do fine with TBRs as far as guiding my reading, but I don't like the pressure to feel like I have to read something fast. Like, this was another book, a mystery that I was needing to read this week, but I don't have it on audio. This was for the Killing Time with Cozy's book club, and I waited till the last minute, and I could have read it, but I didn't feel like I could read it that fast, and because I waited too long to read it. So, I don't know. If I feel pressure, then I just push back.
Hmm.
Okay, Cheryl says I feel old serving with my friend. That's true. They're not so hard on the eyes. That's true. That's funny.
At work we have a large sports section, but it's actually like declining because we don't buy as much because people are all using their e-readers. So like our large print section keeps getting smaller. Every year it
Mm.
gets smaller. And it's the
Yeah,
same
because you
with
can adjust the font size on your e-reader, right?
right. And it's the
Yeah.
same with romances. Like our paperback romances keep getting smaller because now people read them on their Kindle because they're embarrassed by the covers. And so it's just funny how things change over time due to different
Hmm.
habits. But yes, I haven't started reading large print yet, but I'm sure I will eventually. All right. Well, so all the people here seem to like the one prompt thing,
Hmm.
and they also seem to like the fact that it's only a week. So that's good, and it also makes it easier to plan and do stuff for when you don't have to plan something for every week. All right. Well,
One thing we should say is everybody that I see in the chat has a channel. So, except maybe Aaron. Does Aaron have a channel? Actually, he does. No. So you guys, everybody
Yeah,
who
I'll put
is
the other
here, be sure you
Cheryl.
check out everyone else's channel. Cheryl Gilmore and Mandy the Night Owl and Breezy Ann and all of us. So everybody be sure and subscribe to everyone's channel.
Yeah, there's not as many people, but that's okay. We still have fun. Oh, here's Milo again. Milo was here at the front and
Hi,
then she went
Milo.
away. But she came back. She's like, I heard you were leaving, so I better come show my face again. And my
Uh,
tail. And my tail. She's a snowy girl.
Janelle, I don't know if Aaron, oh, sorry.
Oh,
I don't
go
know if
ahead.
Aaron's still watching, Janelle, but I wanted to tell him that that video you guys did a couple months ago where you did a book haul together and you just started laughing and you were just laughing. I made my husband come in here and watch part of that. And because I always want him to do a video with me and he won't do it. And I'm like, look at how much fun they're having. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to.
Oh.
But anyway, you guys are too cute then, and I really enjoyed that video. That was fun.
Well,
So,
thank you.
Aaron, good job. Sorry, Emily, I interrupted you. I didn't mean to.
It's okay. I was just saying that Milo is here and she's making. Oh, Janelle was asking me if she reads our. If she, or I said something about how she can't read, and Janelle said, does she listen to audiobooks or. Anyway, I was talking about how she likes to listen to audios. Yes, look, there's Milo. I always say that Milo is the March Mystery Madness mascot. Because she could be
Wait,
March
so
Mystery.
Milo likes to listen to audiobooks?
Well, she hangs out with me while I listen to them.
Oh, that's good.
Well, I like to play games on my phone while I listen to them, or when I'm watching YouTube, and she'll come sit with me while I'm playing games. So it might just be that she likes watching the games, because they do the colorful blocks and all that. I don't know. Well, anyway, but she could be March. I always say she's March Mystery Milo, so she could be our mascot.
Well, every
Yeah.
good mystery needs a cat, so a mystery readathon should have a cat too.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, let's see. We're getting close to an hour. I said we should probably try to keep it to an hour because I know it's getting late for some people. Oh, Mandy has a cat named Milo
Oh, that's
too.
right.
Hi.
Awesome.
Well, tell your Milo hello from my Milo. My Milo's a girl, which most cats named Milo are boys, but I didn't name her. I got her with the name Milo, so I don't know why her name is Milo. But it's a nice name. My
Yeah.
mom, when I first got her, my mom thought I should rename her to Millie, but it's like she was already over a year old when I got her, so I figured she probably knew her name already, so it wasn't worth changing it. But anyway, all right. Does anybody have anything else to say before we go?
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks
Yeah.
for doing this,
Thank,
Emily.
yeah.
Thank
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
participating. March Mid-Year Mystery Madness was fun.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was fun. Thanks,
And
everyone.
we'll be
Even
back
if you're watching
here.
this later, if you're from the Discord group or whatever, thanks for participating and commenting there and in the Goodreads group. And please feel free to, in the comments, give your impressions about, what you thought of the event as a whole and what you would do differently and what you would keep and all of that for next year. That helps us to
Yeah.
plan for next year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We want to know what we can do to be better.
Yeah.
Let's see. Breezy Ann says thanks for hosting, and Cheryl says thanks for hosting too. Thank you for watching us, ladies. We
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it. It's good to have at least a few people, or else we're just talking into the void for no reason. Yeah. But yes, so go follow everybody, Cheryl and Breezy and Mandy at the Night Owl. And let's see. Janelle is too fond of books, and Alicia's pretty brown-eyed reader. No, brown eye, not brown-eyed. Pretty brown-eyed reader. And the lesbian is Lizzie Faye, loves books, and I'm the redhead is reading. And then we had a few other people died is Jesus, 19 Heart, and let's see, Tam. Was Tam on it from Word of Sleep?
No, he wasn't a host for this one, but I forgot to add Steve Donahue to the host list, and he actually did a video and was officially a host. But so my apologies to Steve for I neglected to add him to the list. But yeah, and the Bookish Bryants had said they were going to, but I don't think I ever saw a video. So I hope they're doing okay. And Scott and Becky, if you guys are watching this, I hope you guys are doing okay. And who else? Raul from Latin Lecture.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Jen. Yeah, she was here for the kickoff show. Jen from Railroad Reads. She is the one that is moderating the Instagram page. Yeah.
And I think Jen had signed up to be here, but then she took herself out, so she must have had a conflict.
Maybe.
Something happened. But and also, the last time it was having problems for her. So maybe
yeah, she was having internet issues.
Hold on, I'm trying to get so you can see my face again. I wanted to switch to this new comments. Yes, so Breezy says thanks for hosting. Cheryl says thank you too. All right, well I'm gonna say we should go because it's an hour, and I know it's getting late for everybody. People gotta go to work in the morning, maybe, or at least they got stuff to do in the morning. So thanks for coming, and thanks for participating, and thanks to all of y'all for joining me. I wasn't just talking to my cat. That might have gotten some more views, because I mean, that's the kind of stuff that goes viral. People talking to their cats. All right. Thank y'all so much for coming and for being with me, and we'll see you in March. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving and Halloween and Christmas and New Year's and Valentine's Day, and we'll see you in March.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks for hosting, Emily.
Thank you.
Bye. Good night, everyone.